Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare. जय श्री श्री सचिनंदन भगवान की जय, जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि भक्त वृंद की जय।
Is it okay if I just keep the phone? It has a display. Sure. Yeah, no problem. You want to tell others about the birthday party? Hare Krishna, dear devotees. It's my greatest honor to welcome His Grace Amarendra Prabhu at our place today. So I'm sure most of you will know Amarendra Prabhu. There is no introduction needed, but let me try a little bit. So Prabhuji has been a staunch follower of Krishna consciousness, and he has been preaching in our movement for many, many years. He has inspired countless number of people, and his the way he breaks down the Vedic scriptures and explains it in a very simple and applicable way. It inspires so many people, and I'm one of the benefiters of this, of Prabhuji, because the reason why I took up Krishna consciousness so seriously is because of Prabhuji. Without him, I wouldn't be here where I am today. So I'm so happy to welcome Prabhuji in this auspicious moment. It happened to be my son Anirudh's first birthday. So yeah, thank you so much for all the devotees who helped arrange this program. And let's take this momentous occasion and hold it dear to our heart and get inspired from Harikatha. Thank you so much.
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंद ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंद ब्रज जन रंजन, जामुना तीरवनचारी, यमुना तीरवनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी, गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज, जय यशोदानंद, यशोदानंद ब्रज जन रंजन, जय यशोदानंद ब्रज जन रंजन, यमुना तीरवनचारी, ओ यमुना तीरवनचारी, ओ यमुना तीरवनचारी, हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल, जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद, जय जय प्रभुपाद, जय जय गुरु, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Everyone, Nitai Gaura Hari. Gaura Premanande.
Any announcements? Any cars have to be moved? Anything about space, water, bathrooms? Anything before we begin? Use the microphone. I'm not sure if they heard you.
Devotees, restroom is over this side, so feel free to use it. And if you feel space is a little tight in this hall, you can shift to the nearby adjacent room. And yes, thank you so much. I'll stop talking now. Thank you.
We all wish happy birthday to the His name is Anirudh? Okay, everyone, please, everyone, with all your heart, bless Anirudh so that he can live forever, healthy, wealthy, materially, spiritually, emotionally, and devotionally. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. As well. So just like everyone blessed Anirudh, everyone please seek blessings from Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhi Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine.
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna. I'm having a very bad throat, so please forgive me. I'm going to take a lot of help from the microphone. Yeah. If it's too loud where's the, oh, that's where it is. Please be careful for your ears. If you think it's too loud, you can even reposition yourself now. Because as I start speaking, sometimes I get a little ecstatic. Not ecstatic, but excited. Very passionate person by my mind. So I may yell and scream and shout sometimes. So please forgive me. Hare Krishna. So welcome back. We left off at a cliffhanger in the morning. What was our topic and what were we discussing this morning? We were speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit. Okay, what else did we speak? Yes. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita and he gave some theoretical understanding of devotion, but he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and became a devotee. So practically demonstrated. What else did we discuss? Oh, very nice. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from that devotee whose mood we want to imbibe. Do you want to lift the video stand a couple of notches? Because I was sitting on one thing, but I've added one more. So I think it'll capture my chest. This is better? Okay. So similarities and differences between Gaur Lila and Krishna Lila. Okay, very nice. So we will continue on that theme now, part 2. How many of us were not there this morning for the discussion? Okay, no problem. We will speak something else and then connect. Srimad Bhagavatam is the crest jewel of all scriptures. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam Vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon moolanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni krute kim va parairishwaraha sadhyo ridhya varudhyate trakritibihi sushrushubi tat kshanat. This is the second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam. What does it say? Dharma projita kaitava. Srimad Bhagavatam, this is the first point, kicks out all cheating religion. Now, what is cheating religion? When you go to God, who's already giving so much, and you perform bhakti to kind of bribe him to get him to do what you want him to do, that is called cheating. Like, for example, I go to a temple and I chant his names only to impress his heart so that I get a son. Or I perform some fasting. I follow some observance only so that I make more money. Or I read some scripture and I become a devotee only so that I can get what I want, maybe a home or a nice family. What is this world made up of? Illusion. To ask God to intervene in the world of illusion is the greatest cheating possible, because he is beyond illusion. And to perform bhakti, to trick him to come into the world of illusion and solve our problem, there cannot be a bigger cheating than that. Understand? So God is beyond illusion, And worship of God is supposed to pull us beyond illusion, not the other way, that we impress upon his heart and pull him where we are and tell him, you're beyond illusion, now you better jump here. This is not considered to be first class. So therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us, approach God to go to where he is, not to pull him to where we are. So this is the first point. But who can understand Srimad Bhagavatam? Nirmatsaranam satam. In Sanskrit, the word nirmatsara means, anybody? Non-envious. In Sanskrit, there is a word called matsya. Have you heard this word before? Matsya. Matsya means a fish. So matsarya, which is envy in Sanskrit, comes from the word matsa. Why? Because the fish mentality is envy. It's considered to be fishiness. Like, for example, if you see in a pond, you'll have the small fishes. And then if you see in a lake, you'll have small fishes with the big fishes. And then when you see in the ocean, you'll have the small fishes with the big fishes with the ultra big fishes. And what happens? The big fish thinks that the small fish will one day become big. And when that big fish becomes old, this young big fish will swallow it up. So better what I do, when this fish is small itself, I'll swallow it up. This is considered to be envy. So because it's the matsya mentality, the mentality of a fish, therefore envy is called matsarya, to behave like a fish, competitive in this world. Before he outsmarts and outwits me, I'll kick him out of competition. This kind of competitive, envious mentality is called a fishiness. If we have this kind of exploitative mentality, we cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam. You can read Srimad Bhagavatam. You can even recite Srimad Bhagavatam. You can even memorize Srimad Bhagavatam, but nothing of that will come in the heart. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because the lock on the Srimad Bhagavatam is first become selfless. Don't try to exploit others financially. Don't try to exploit others emotionally. Don't try to exploit others physically. Don't try to exploit others materially, mentally. Because this is all considered to be fishiness. Oh, I gain and you lose. The whole business industry of I make profit and you lose. I cheat you and you get cheated. You make big claims and on the bottom, in ultra small font, you write conditions apply. What does that mean? You tempt that person for the big thing. And when he falls into the trap and says, hey, you never told me, you say, oh, look at the bottom. The size of a paramecia or a microbe, amoeba, I have written conditions apply, strings attached, right? So this mentality to exploit others physically, emotionally, financially, mentally, to talk to someone, get all their secrets, and now spill the beans to another third party. Someone comes and confides in us. Oh, I am going through a problem. Oh, really? What happened? Tell me everything. I'm your best friend. And then they open up their heart and you take all those secrets and now call a third person. What's happening? We are exploiting them emotionally. You may think that has nothing to do with Bhagavatam, but Bhagavatam has an ultra subtle lock. Till the time we are financially, emotionally, physically, mentally, in all ways possible, exploitative, and we have this fishy mentality of I'm going to swallow him up, Bhagavatam will not come in the heart, which means bhakti will not be there in the heart. You can go to the temple, you can go to satsang, you can even be the speaker and even speak very scholarly and very convincingly, but none of that will be realized in the heart because one has not become selfless. Huh? Understand? 2 points. What was the first point? What does Srimad Bhagavatam do? It kicks out. What is cheating religion? To bring God to a restaurant, to the plane of illusion, and to make him solve our problems instead of going to him to serve him selflessly. What was the second point? The Srimad Bhagavatam opens up only to those who are completely lusty, angry, proud, envious, non-envious. Third point. Vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam. Srimad Bhagavatam talks about nothing except the vastava vastu. Vastava vastu means the eternal truth. You see, all of our existence is like bursting bubbles. Have you seen babies and kids play with bubbles? And forms a bubble and boop. And then dips again into this soap solution and the baby makes more bubbles. And all of our lives are like that. Brahma is playing with the soap solution of our lives. Brahma dips in and then that's it. All of our lives are like bursting bubbles. But what is that eternal reality? Vastava Vastu, who existed before creation, who exists after destruction, and who's always present through maintenance. Vastava, Vedyam, Vastava, Vastu, Vedyam, Vastava, Matra, Vastu, Shivadam, Tapatrayod Mulanam. That is Krishna. And knowing him, what happens? All our problems are uprooted. You see, problems in life, they are like grass. The more you cut, the more they grow. Let's have that sinking into our consciousness. Problems in life are like grass. The more you cut, the faster they grow. The more we try to solve, they get taller and taller. Why? Because the root is still there. But what does Srimad Bhagavatam do? Unmoolanam. It uproots the grass through the root. By remembering Krishna, all problems are destroyed. Now you may say, well, Pandavas remembered Krishna. Did problems get destroyed in their life? Prahlad remembered Krishna. Did problems get destroyed in their life? Well, problems did not get destroyed in their life, but they didn't consider it as problem anyway. They saw all of that as Krishna's plan. So my Guru Maharaj would give an example in this regard, that when you're walking down the street, you see the skyscrapers and they're very tall. But the same thing when you sit in an airplane and you're like 50,000 feet ahead, up in the sky, you look down, they look as small as matchboxes, the same skyscraper. So when the consciousness is very low, the smallest problems look like skyscrapers. And when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam and consciousness goes high, then those same problems look like small matchboxes. Understand? So it's not the material life means you solve every problem and create a bigger problem. And spiritual life means stop seeing it as a problem. Transcend it. Huh? What were the 3 points that we mentioned? Point number 1. Srimad Bhagavatam kicks a football. Called cheating religion. Yes, I was saying the same thing. What's the second thing? Who is the qualified reader of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Someone who is non-envious. Third, what is the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam? The absolute truth, who is not a bursting bubble in creation, who exists eternally. Why should I know about him? What happens? Tapatrayon Mulanam. By knowing him, what happens? The grass-like problems are uprooted. Acha. Now the fourth point. Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim Vapareirishwaraha. Vyasadeva says, if you study Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the need for any other scripture? Kim Vapareirishwaraha. What is the need for any other Shastra? Now you please tell me, doesn't it sound like a very sectarian proclamation? Oh, I'm writing a book. If you read this, what is the need for any other book? Sripad Adi Shankaracharya says the same thing about Bhagavad Gita. Please, everyone. Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva Eko Mantras Tasya Namani Yani Karma Api Ekam Tasya Devasya Seva. He is saying, if you want to actually hold a book called Bhagavad Gita. If you want to worship one Lord, worship the son of Devaki. If you really want to chant one name, chant the name of Krishna. If you want to act, eternally serve his lotus feet. That's it. He says, if you want to study, study Bhagavad Gita. What else is there? And now Vyasa is saying, if you want to study, study Bhagavatam. What else is there? Now you may say they're all very sectarian claims. Everyone is saying just study one book. What do you think? If you study Srimad Bhagavatam, is it enough? You're convinced? Are you sure? Only Srimad Bhagavatam will suffice? Only Bhagavad Gita will suffice? Then why are there so many books? They also suffice? Worshipping Krishna is sufficient. Then why are there so many demigods? Are they all God? One Srimad Bhagavatam. Ekam. Everyone else is next, secondary. You see, in a World Cup, you have different countries battling. And you have different stages. Round 1, round 2, round 3. But they're all battling for what? The finale. Right? Can we say each round is like a finale? No. Each round is a preparation to get to the finale. So Vyasadeva wrote so many books. They're all like round 1, round 2, round 3, only to come to the finale, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. And once you come to the finale, you don't have to attempt the first round. Understand? Like, for example, if you have 5 cars, let's say. Not that I'm saying you should buy them, but just a statement. Let's say if you have 5 cars, and in one car, you can go to work. Do you need the remaining 4 cars? Whatever purpose has to be met is met by the one car. So the answer could be at this point, Bhakti is all about Kirtanam and then Shravanam. You chant and then you hear. Okay. In the spiritual world, even echoes are persons. It's a personality. So if you have 5 vehicles, 5 cars, and one car can take you to work, the question could be, if one car can take me to work, what's the need for any other car? So the point is, if one Srimad Bhagavatam can give you darshan of Krishna and take you back home, back to Godhead, Kim va pareri Ishwara, then what is the need for any other scripture? Because it'll take you to the ultimate. So we made 4 points. Now the 5th point. If you study Srimad Bhagavatam, what will happen? Sadhyo ridya varudhyate trakritibi sushrushubi tat kshanat. It is described, if you study Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna will enter your heart. Who is saying this? Vyasadeva is saying this. So we are making 5 points. At the end, I'm going to ask questions. So please recap these 5 points in your mind. We are on the 5th point. Let's do a quick recap. What was the first point? Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. What does Srimad Bhagavatam do? Kicks out all cheating religion, which means you will not find one example in Srimad Bhagavatam where someone goes to God to pull him to his level. No. Everyone will go to God to serve him. That's the first. Second, who is the qualified reader of Srimad Bhagavatam? So till the time there is some exploitative mentality in the mind, you can spend 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years reading Srimad Bhagavatam. We will become scholars in the head. We will have verses on the throat. But when life will pinch, it's the heart which speaks. The heart will not have Srimad Bhagavatam. We can have Kantimala, we can have Tilak, we can have Dhoti, Kurta, and we will still behave the same way. Because there is a lock on Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam can open only when he wants. We cannot master Srimad Bhagavatam. Don't think we can read and become an expert in Srimad Bhagavatam. He's our master. We can master him. Understand? So that's the second point. What was the third point? What's the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam? Krishna, absolute truth, he who never changes. And by knowing about him, what will happen to the grass of our problems? Uprooted. So this was the third point. Now the fourth point. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam, Srimad Bhagavate Mahamunikrute Kim va Parairishwaraha. If you have Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the need for any other scripture? What does that mean? Is it a sectarian claim? What does it mean? This is the final round in the World Cup of Vedic literature. And if you study Srimad Bhagavatam, you will have darshan of Krishna. If you have darshan of Krishna, where is the need to read or hear anything else? Now, 5th point. Sadhyo ridya varudyate trakritibi sushrushubi tat kshanat. What happens? When you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna enters through the ear hole. Does he really do that? This question may be there. So the last line starts with Sadhya, which means immediately. And it ends with Tat Kshanat, immediately. So Vyasadeva has actually drawn a sandwich in the last line. The bread loaf on the first half says, immediately Krishna will enter. And at the end, he says, immediately. You see, when you speak English, you will not say, you'll either put the word immediately in the beginning or at the end. You will say, this is the truth, immediately. The point when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna will enter the heart. Either, or you will say, Krishna will enter your heart immediately. Right? Either in the beginning or at the end. But how does Vyasa write the last line? He says, as soon as you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, immediately Krishna will enter the heart immediately. Because Satya means immediately at that same point. And Tat Kshana also means at that very moment. What happens? Avaruddhyate. Krishna gets locked. In Sanskrit, the word avaruddhya means to get locked. Sometimes you get locked into the bathroom, get locked into the bedroom. So what does that mean? Krishna enters through the ear into the heart and the door shuts behind him, which means he can't leave. Krishna listening to his own glorification as the devotee is listening. Krishna enters through the ear. This is the door. He enters into the bedroom of the heart of the listener and this door shuts, which means even if Krishna wants to leave the heart of the listener, he can't. And how quickly does that happen? Sadhya. And at the end, Tat Kshanat. Krishna enters the heart. Now the question could be, what does he do inside? So everyone chant. Shunvatam Shraddhaya Nityam Grihnatam Cha Swacheshtitam Kalena Nati Dirghena Bhagavan Vishate Ridhi. It says if someone hears Srimad Bhagavatam attentively and applies those principles in life, then Bhagavan Vishate Ridhi. Krishna enters the heart of the listener. Now the next verse says, what does he do inside? Does he play chess? Let's see what he does in the heart. Pravishta Karanarandrena, which means Pravishta Karanarandrena, entering into the heart through the ear hole. Swanam Bhavasaroruham. Krishna sits on the lotus of the heart of the listener. And what does he do? What does he do? Swanam Bhavasaroruham. Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna Salilasya Yatha Sharat. He sits on the lotus of the heart of the devotee and he cleans the lust, the anger, the pride, the envy, the jealousy, everything he cleans up. So quite fascinating. We said in the beginning, the qualification to hear Srimad Bhagavatam is one must be non-envious. Now you're saying Krishna sits and cleans. What is there to clean if you have already become non-envious? Anyone can hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Even the envious can hear Srimad Bhagavatam. But only those who are non-envious can realize it in the heart. So what if someone has envy and they sit and hear? Oh, then don't worry. Krishna enters the heart and he cleans it up. Dhunoti Shamalam Krishna. And a very beautiful example is given. Let's say if you have a cup full of muddy water, dirty water, what's the best way to clean it? That's right. All the Matajis know the technique. They do the cleaning all the time. They're cleaning not just the homes, but even the contamination, in the family, in the form of so many misunderstandings. It's the mother or the wife who has to keep peace between the children and the father. I remember in my upbringing, in my childhood, my father would chastise and we would go and hide behind the mother. And it was the mother who was the cleaner, in the sense she would clean the misunderstandings between relations. So the mothers know exactly how external and internal cleanliness. So they're saying the best way to clean the cup of dirty water, let it run down the clean water from the tap. Let it show it under the tap with running clean water. As a result, what happens? All the dirt in the cup gets replaced with pure water. So why is Shukadeva Goswami saying that? He's saying the heart is filled with lust and pride and anger and envy and jealousy, which is all like muddy pool of water. But when you hear about Krishna, that's like the purified, pristine, clean water. So keep hearing about Krishna, and that is the running water coming from the tap of the mouth of the speaker. And then the dirt in the cup of the heart gets replaced with pure Hari Katha, pure water. Did everyone understand? Chalo, let's do a quick recap. All the different points on the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam that we did. Point number 1. What does Srimad Bhagavatam aim to do? Kicks out. It's almost like Srimad Bhagavatam is a soccer player. Kicks out all the cheating religions. Second, who can understand the Srimad Bhagavatam in truth? Someone who's non-envious. What is the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam? Talking about Krishna, who doesn't change beyond past, present, and future. And by knowing about Krishna, what happens to the grass of our problems? It gets uprooted, just like we don't see them as problems anymore. When we sit in an airplane, the skyscraper of problems look as insignificant as a matchbox. Very nice. Srimad Bhagavatam, one book is enough. What does that mean? By hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll have darshan of Krishna. Then what else is there to be attained? And the last point is, when you hear Srimad Bhagavatam, what does Krishna do? Enters through both ears. Does he do it after a long time? 2 words have been used to say immediately. Sadhya and Takshana. Very nice. Now, having entered into the ear or into the heart through the ear, what does Krishna do after all? He first of all sits on the lotus of the heart of the devotee. And sitting there, he sees some pollen grains in the form of lust and anger and greed and envy. So what does he do? He cleans it. And by hearing Krishna Katha, our heart becomes purified. And what is the example for that? Just like muddy water, when it is kept under the tap with running water, the clean water replaces the muddy water. So all the dirt in our heart gets replaced by Krishna Katha, by hearing about Krishna. Are we all on the same page? Now let's chant this verse and we'll continue. Please call and respond. Dharma projita kaitavo traparamo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim va paririshwaraha Sadhyo ridhyavarudyate Trakritibihi Sushrushubi Tatkshanad. You know, His Holiness Indradyumna Maharaj was once doing kirtan. And in the middle of the kirtan, he said, "This is it." I was thinking, what is that? And he was elaborating that this kirtan experience, this is it. This is it. We have evolved over lifetimes to come together with Vaishnavas only to taste this. And he said, this is it. This is it. So I was thinking, this is parampara. Because even Vyasadeva has said it. You can see in this verse, please count the number of times you hear the word atra. Shri Dharma Projita Kaitava Atra Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Shivadam Tapatrayonmulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krute Kim va paririshwaraha Sadhyo ridhyavarudyate Atra Kritibihi Sushrushubi Tatkshanad. The word atra means here. This is it. In one verse, Vyasadeva has said, all that you're looking for, this is it, and this is it. The word atra has come thrice in the same verse. Did you all find some joy in the heart? Well, that was the introduction. Now let us start. Only after we understand what we are discussing, can we actually relish the discussion. Chalo, let's begin. So, in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kamsa was sending so many demons, one after another. He sent Putana, he sent Trinavarta, he sent Shakatasur, he sent Arishtasur, he sent Bakasur, he sent Dhenukasur, he sent Vatsasur, He sent Vyomasur. Whom else did he send? Pralambasur, Aghasur, Keshi. Okay, I'll tell you, I'll tell the Asura, you have to tell me what animal that is. Real quick, okay? Bakasur. In English, please. Aghasur. Kalia. Arishtasur. Keshi. Dhenukasur. Vatsasur. Vatsa means calf. Vatsa means calf. So, calf Asur. Asura, demon in the form of calf. Shakatasur. He was actually a ghost who entered a cart. Trinavarta. Whirlwind. Putana. You know, it is described, her original form is like an owl. And she became a woman. Sa khechari ekadotpatya putanananda gokulam yoshitva mayatmanam pravishat kamacharini. She was originally an owl. Have you heard this before? Brahma Vaivarta Puran describes. And then she became like a woman, like a very exalted lady. So much so that the Braja Gopis, all the motherly gopis and the younger gopis, they were fighting with each other. Why? Because she would walk with a lotus flower in her hand. So pretty. Tam kesha bandha vyatishakta mallika bruhan nitambastana krichra madhyamam suvasasam kalpita karana bhushanam tvisholasat kuntala mandita ananam valgu smita panga visarga vikshitai manoharantim vanitam brajaukasam amam satam bhoja karena rupinim gopya shriya drashtumivagatam patim. I've heard the elaborations on all these verses from the lips of my Guru Maharaj. So when I'm chanting these verses, I'm remembering him. So Putana came. Tam Kesha Bandha. Her hair was tied very beautifully with jasmine flower garlands around it. Vyatishakta Mallikam. Very attractive. Suvasasam Kalpita Karana Bhushanam. She was smiling end to end. And her eyebrows were dancing in winning over the hearts of both male and female. And she had a slight smile and she was glancing end to end with so much grace. And as she was walking and moving her head very gracefully, her earrings were shining on the mirror of her cheeks. As if they were kissing her cheeks. They were going like this as she was walking. And Valgu Smita Panga Visarga Vikshitai Manoharantim Vanitam Brajaukasam. All the Prabhujis in Vrindavan, they were looking like this. If that happens in this world, generally the Matajis will say, stop looking. But when Putana came, all the Prabhujis were looking like this. Why? Because the Matajis were looking. Everyone was looking at Putana. And she had it's called Lila Kamala. She had a play lotus in her hand and she was twirling it in her right hand. And with the left hand, she was making wonderful gestures. So the gopis, they were talking to each other. They were saying, oh, this seems to be definitely a very blessed woman in Vrindavan. The other gopis said, she definitely is not from Vrindavan because I know every Brajbasi. She's probably from another village. So another gopi said, no, I know all the women and everyone, even in the neighboring village. I'm well informed. I am the BBC, Braj Broadcasting Commission. I am giving the news from one person to another. You know that in the other village, that girl is getting married to the boy from this village. So I know she's not even from a neighboring village. She said, oh, she's probably from a hamlet very far away. A rural cowherd community very far away. Another gopi said, all of you are wrong. Such beauty cannot be seen in human beings. She's definitely from Indra's planet, Amravati. Not in Maharashtra, but the capital of Indra's abode is called Amravati. That's after that name, the place in Maharashtra is named Amravati. Another gopi came and said, oh, I think she is the best dancer in Indra's court. She is Rambha. Another gopi said, hey, don't talk unless you're asked. This is Urvashi. Another gopi said, how can she be Urvashi? I think she is Menaka. Another gopi came and said, all of you are wrong. This happens to be Lakshmi. Must be Lakshmi. Because Lakshmi is the one who always has lotus in her hand. Have you ever seen, she was asking and challenging others, have you ever seen Ramba, Urvashi and Menaka twirling a lotus? They're busy dancing. Where do they have time to hold a lotus? But Lakshmi is the one who holds lotus. So she must be Lakshmi. So the other gopi said, why will Lakshmi leave Vaikuntha and come to Braj? So the gopi said, because Yashoda's son is none different from Vishnu. So now you may say in Vrindavan, they don't consider Krishna to be Vishnu. So how can she say that? Oh, because when there is love for Krishna, all Siddhanta, all truth resides here. They will say things which they don't believe in. Like our Yashoda Nandan, he sleeps so beautifully. He's so attractive. He's sleeping. Once he's asleep, oh, he doesn't even move. He seems like Vishnu, who is in Yoga Nidra. So if he is like Vishnu, why wouldn't Lakshmi come searching for him? So in this way, Putana's pastime takes place. So many demons came. Did they all go back? Putana came from Mathura. She left her body in Vrindavan. Trinavarta came from Mathura. He left his body in Vrindavan. Shakatasur, Arishtasur, Vatsasur, Bakasur, Vyomasur, Aghasur, everyone came from Mathura and left their body in Vrindavan. You know why? Only to prove one verse of Bhagavad Gita correct. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, my abode is so beautiful, yat gatva na nivartante. Once you come to my abode, you will never leave. As if to just prove that one verse of Gita right, so many demons came and offered their life. Each verse of Bhagavad Gita is like a fire sacrifice. And all these demons offered their life in oblation to that one verse of Bhagavad Gita to prove that once you come to Vrindavan, you never leave. Just to prove that point, the demons offered their oblation in the form of their life. So when we leave Vrindavan, we should think, alas, alas, my life is hopeless. Even the great demons didn't leave Vrindavan. I am so demoniac. After coming to Vrindavan, after having darshan of Radharani and Govardhan and Jamuna, I still am turning towards material life and going home. I am worse than Putana and Shakatasur. Just so that we develop some humility, that's the gold standard. The life of the demons in Vrindavan. So Kamsa Maharaj now had a big crisis problem, big anxiety in his life. What was it? He was thinking, I'm sending all these demons and they all go swaha. They get self-sacrificed in Vrindavan. But what about killing Krishna? What about killing Krishna? Then Narad Muni went and told Kamsa Maharaj, hey Kamsa, have you heard of home ground advantage? Home ground advantage. Has anyone heard of this term before? Home ground advantage. Correct. When two parties, two teams, they fight each other. Let's say if they are fighting each other. When two parties fight each other in a game, if they're playing in the home ground of one of the teams, then what happens? All the assembly in the audience is cheering the home team. So that's considered to be the home ground advantage. The pitch is created according to the home team. The audience is cheering the home team. So the team that is visiting, they say, is not having as much advantage as the home team. So Narad Muni taught this concept to Kamsa. Why? To saying, you're trying to fight Krishna in his home territory, Vrindavan. If you really want to kill him, you should get him to your home ground advantage. Bring Krishna to Mathura. Then you can have Chanur and Mushtik and all of these wrestlers. They can crush Krishna and Balaram to death. Why do you think Narad Muni is speaking like this? Does he want Kamsa to kill Krishna? No, he wants the exact opposite. He wants Kamsa to be killed by Krishna. And Kamsa is not getting any idea of how to kill Krishna. So Narad Muni tries to befriend him as if on the pretext of giving advice. He is only thinking of liberating Kamsa through the hands of Krishna. Kamsa said, good idea. Let me get Krishna here. But how can I get him? Narad Muni said, let me think. There's one thing you can do. Kamsa said, what is that? Actually, in that section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Kamsa calls Narad Muni Deva Darshanaha. What does he call him? Which means, oh Narada, you have the vision like a demigod. Kamsa is saying, Deva Darshan, you have the vision of a demigod. It's almost like Brahma and Shiva are coming and speaking through your lips. Please tell me, how can I drag Krishna out of Vrindavan and bring him to Mathura? Is everyone attentively listening? Because in India, especially on the highways where it's accident prone, they say, Nazar hati, durghatna ghati. Which means if you lose attention, then you're accident prone. It's possible if you doze off, you may have an accident. So Krishna Katha is like that. Nazar hati, durghatna ghati. So everyone fasten your seatbelts and listen very attentively. Kamsa is asking Narada Muni, how can I get Krishna here? Narada Muni said, well, who am I to advise you? You are the king. What do I know after all? I'm a sannyasi just walking with an instrument. You are the great king. He wanted Kamsa to become even more submissive. Kamsa said, no, you're my best friend. He held the hand of Narada Muni and said, you please tell me. Narada Muni said, well, if I were you, I will send Akrura. Kamsa said, Akrura? Why would I send Akrura? Why would I send Akrura? He's Krishna's relative. Narada said, exactly, this is why. He is Krishna's relative from the father's side. So if you send him to Vrindavan on the pretext of a big sacrificial bow sacrifice festival, Akrura can go to Vrindavan and make an announcement that in Mathura, we are having a big bow sacrifice. It was supposed to be scheduled on Shiva Chaturdashi. You know, Lord Shiva has a very famous sacrificial bow, which was used in Ramayana. Huh? You've heard of that? You've had the book? Yeah. So what's your name? Nivan. Nivan has given proof that what I'm speaking is true. You know why? Because he says, I have the book. How old are you? 9. At the age of 9, to sit ahead and hear Krishna Katha and interact and give his heartfelt addition. Everyone, please, big round of applause. I have to try so many ways to keep all of you awake. Sometimes singing, sometimes clapping. No, that was really meant for you.
Describing our beautiful women. That Rakshas, you said Lakshmi, that lady, you described.
It keeps you attentive? You're pretty honest. You're definitely young. Putana Mataji ki. So Narad Muni told Kamsa, if I were you, I would send Akrura. Kamsa said, why would you send Akrura? Narad Muni said, Akrura is Krishna's paternal uncle. Krishna would call Akrura Tata. Now, in many of the South Indian languages, Tata means grandfather, right? But in Sanskrit, Tata means either father or father-like. So Krishna would call Akrura Akrur Tata. So Narad Muni tells Kamsa, Krishna really trusts Akrura. And Nanda Maharaj, the father of Krishna, trusts Akrura too. So if Akrura makes an announcement that there is a big bow sacrifice on Shiva Chaturdashi, It's the auspicious occasion of Shivaratri, Chaturdashi Tithi. On that day, there will be a big bow sacrifice in the name of the bow of Lord Shiva. Then if Krishna and Balaram can come and attend, then they will be blessed by Lord Shiva. If this announcement is made in Vrindavan, then Nanda and Yashoda will be very happy because they would want their son to be protected. And then you can get Krishna and Balaram here. And when they come here, there is a mad elephant called Kuvalaya Pida. Have Krishna be crushed by the feet of this mad elephant. And if he survives, you have the wrestlers called Chanur and Mushtik, those who go to Planet Fitness. They have a 2-year membership program. $250 for 2 years. You can use all the equipments. You can start from treadmill and CrossFit and elliptical and all the weights for your biceps and triceps and deltoids and latissimus dorsi and hamstrings and shin. So Chanur and Mushtik are doing all of this. So Narad Muni said, "Oh, Kamsa, send Akrura, win the confidence of Nanda and Yashoda, bring Krishna here and kill him." Kamsa said, "There cannot be such an intimate friend like you. All these demons that I had are a big bunch of fools. They would just come, sit, I would tell them go, they would go and never return. But I need an intelligent person like you." Narad Muni said, "Why do you think I'm there? I am there just for you. I love you, oh Kamsa." He really does, because he wants Kamsa to be killed by Krishna and get liberated very soon. That is love. Because Kamsa is like a cancer. And Krishna is the surgeon. He's the oncologist. He wants it to be removed. Narad Muni loves it to be removed. So Kamsa brings Akrura. Everyone on board? Yes? Can you see Akrura with a white beard getting on a golden chariot ready to go to Vrindavan? Yes. Thank you. Akrura stands on a golden chariot. But he's confused. That day is Ekadashi. He's thinking, what is this? On one hand, I want to go to Vrindavan and see Krishna. But on the other hand, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news and try to bring Krishna to Mathura and be killed by Kamsa. What do I do? And today's Ekadashi, I don't want to spend all day traveling like this. So then he said, okay, let me get off the golden chariot. Today I will do Vrat. Akrura for 24 hours, he was just chanting. He chanted and he was meditating on Krishna. Dear devotees, whenever you have any confusion or bewilderment in mind, in America, there is a saying, let me sleep on it. Right? When there's a confusion, what to do, what not to do, no problem, let me sleep on it. I'll let you know tomorrow. But in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, you never say sleep on it. The statement is, let me chant on it. Mukundamala Stotra, King Kulashekara says, please everyone chant. Vyamoha prashamaushadam. Which means whenever you have vyamoha, confusion, take a medicine called chanting. If you chant for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours when you're confused, don't take any big decision. Investment decisions, buying a big home, getting married, whatever the decision may be. If you're confused, hit the pause button. And for 1, 2, 3 days, just depend on Krishna. And at the end of it, whatever inspiration you get in your heart, by the consultation of senior Vaishnavas, please do that. So Akrura for 24 hours on the day of Ekadashi, he just chanted, Hare Krishna. Akrura chanted and he was thinking, should I go to Vrindavan and have darshan of Krishna? Or should I just stay here and not be the bearer of bad news for his death? But I want to go to Vrindavan and see Krishna. But if I go, I have to tell him that Kamsa wants to kill you. What do I do? So after chanting for 24 hours, there was clarity in the heart of Akrura that Krishna said in the heart, come to Vrindavan. Come to Vrindavan. Dear devotees, whatever it takes to go to Vrindavan, do it. Sripad Prabodhananda Saraswati in Vrindavan Mahimamrit, he says, please everyone chant. Bratah tishta tale tale vitapinam Grameshu bhikshamata swachandam yamuna jalam pibamalam chirai sukantam kuru sammanam kalayati ghora garalam Nichapamanam Sudha Shri Radha Murali Dharo Bhajasakhe Vrindavanam Matyaja. Prabodhananda Saraswati says, if you want to go to Vrindavan, but you have no home, what to do? Sometimes we say, I have no place to stay in Vrindavan. How can I go? Prabodhananda Saraswati says, live under trees. Very emphatic. Bhrataha tishta tale tale vitapinam. Live under trees. Live under. Second, now the question could be, if I go to Vrindavan, I have no food. Prabodhananda Saraswati says, beg. Oh, I go to Vrindavan, I have no water. Drink the water of Jamuna. Oh, if I go to Vrindavan, I have no clothes. Don't worry. Whatever little you have, managed with that. Oh, what if people give me respect by living here? And what if I get criticized for going there? He says, take this respect to be poison and that criticism to be nectar. And go to Vrindavan, worship Radha Krishna, and never return. What were some conditions? We said a few points on his emphatic presentation of living in Vrindavan. What were some points that Prabodhananda Saraswati said? Ready to be, live under, eat, water, clothes, respect if you get it outside, take it as poison. What if you get criticized there? Worship and never leave Vrindavan. So this is the level of Prabodhananda Saraswati's nishtha in Vrindavan. So Akrura, after one whole day of chanting, he thought, I am getting an open invitation to go to Vrindavan and have darshan of Krishna. Why should I think of anything else? He got onto the golden chariot. Do you see the person with the white beard? Okay. He doesn't actually have a white beard. He is depicted with a white beard in most books, including the Krishna book. So therefore we are saying it like that, to show that he's elderly. So he sits on a golden chariot and he's going, traveling from Mathura to Vrindavan. From Mathura to Vrindavan, how long does it take? Hardly half an hour, 30 minutes, right? You know, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, in the olden times, when he would do parikrama, Vrindavan parikrama, he would have, Maharaj would come with disciples and in Mathura, and then Maharaj would walk from Mathura to Vrindavan. Not taking cycle rickshaw, motor rickshaw. He would say we should enter Vrindavan the way Mahaprabhu entered Vrindavan, walking by foot. Akrura went by chariot. How long do you think it would take him? 30 minutes? It took him one whole day. Did he have a tire puncture? A flat tire in a chariot? No. It's actually described that Akrura was on the golden chariot going towards Vrindavan. And as he would drive the chariot, in his mind, he was riding the chariot of thoughts. How poetic. He externally was on the rath, which means chariot. And in the mind, he was on the manorath, on the chariot of desires. And he would think, that lotus feet of Krishna, which as Vaman Dev punctured the material shell and Ganga manifested in this world, those lotus feet are freely frolicking in the dust of Braja without any footwear. Then he would think, that same lotus feet of Sri Ramachandra, that was placed on the stone, and from where the stone cracked in Ahalya manifested. Those same lotus feet of Sri Krishna are frolicking without slippers in the forest of Braj. Then he would say, those same lotus feet that Lakshmi is massaging in Vaikuntha, the lotus feet of Narayana, as Krishna is frolicking freely in the forests of Braj without any footwear. Then he would think, the same lotus feet that danced on the hoods of Kaliya, the same lotus feet that Kunti prays for, The same lotus feet that Rukmini writes about in her letter, the same lotus feet worshipped by the demigods, is frolicking freely in the forest. Pretty poetic, by the way. Frolicking freely in the forest. And who is he? The flute player. The flute player is frolicking freely in the forest without any footwear, running around. And Akrura, as he was thinking of Krishna's lotus feet, he stopped the chariot. And tears were coming from his eyes. And he got off the chariot. And he was standing there thinking, Vrindavan. Oh, Vrindavan, for a long time I have been in Mathura, serving this demoniac king, Kamsa, only waiting for this day that I could come to Vrindavan. And he would be in ecstasy for an hour or so. And then he would say, oh, wait a minute, I am still in Mathura. And then he would get onto the golden chariot and start riding. And then at that time he would think, when I'm entering Vrindavan, I would hear this coo, 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 the cooing of the cuckoo. I would see the dancing of the peacocks. I would see the green parrots with the red beak chewing the berries of Vrindavan. I would see the golden vines embracing the trunk of the trees on the banks of the water ponds of Vrindavan. I would see the flowing pure water Jamuna with golden lotus flowers and blue lotus flowers and pink lotus flowers. I would see the caves of Govardhan. I would see the white swans frolicking in the waters of Jamuna, and Akrura would get stunned. And what happened? He would get off the chariot and stand, oh, Vrindavan, oh, Vrindavan, oh, Vrindavan. And another 1 or 2 hours would pass. And then he would think, oh, I'm still in Mathura. And he would get onto the chariot and start riding on the horses. And then he would think, you know, when I'm about to approach Vrindavan, I will see the footprints of Krishna and Balaram. And they will have different signs and symbols. And then I will jump off my chariot and touch those footprints and offer my obeisances to the footprints. And then when I get up, I would see Krishna standing there with Balaram. And he would hold me by his palm and lift me up. Akrura Tata, get up. And at that time, he will show me a chakra in his palm to show, don't worry, I will use the chakra in my palm to kill Kamsa. You see, Krishna is called Chakrapani. What is he called? In Sanskrit, Pani means palm. And Chakra means chakra, the disc. So Chakrapani means he who holds a Sudarshan disc. Or according to palmistry, there are different symbols that you can possess on the palm. Krishna has a chakra on his palm. Chakram vartate iti chakravarti. Which means it's described according to palmistry, Vedic palmistry, that if you have a chakra, a disc imprinted in your palm, that means you will become the king of the universe. Please, everyone check. Do you have a disc? You don't even have to check the palm, don't worry. This is called Brahma Lipi, the signature of Brahma. Brahma has left the good fortune indication in the palm, in the astrological chart, in the lines on the forehead, in the face reading, and so many things. Yeah. So Krishna has a sign on the palm of a chakra because he's the son of the king of Braja. And also in the future, for 100 years, he becomes the king of Dwarka. But that also means he will use that chakra to kill Kamsa. So Akrura is thinking, when I offer my obeisances to the imprint of Krishna's lotus feet, and when I get up, what will happen? Will he get up on his own? Who will lift him up? What will he call Akrura? Akrura Tata. Oh, please get up. And then Akrura, as he's woken up and gotten up by Krishna, he will see a chakra in the palm of Krishna. And Krishna will say, don't worry. I will use this chakra to kill Kamsa. You come. And then he will look at Balaram. And Balaram will say, come on, Tata, let's go home. And he will put, Akrura is thinking all of this in the mind. This is called Manorath. He is riding the chariot of his thoughts. Balaram will pull me home. And then I will sit with Krishna and Balaram. And they will happily feed me sweets with their own hands. And they will talk to me. And then I will take them to the side and tell them, I'm going to make some announcements, but I will tell you the truth. As he's thinking like this, Akrura gets stunned, tears coming from his eyes, hair standing on end. He gets off the chariot, thinking, Vrindavan. Another 2-3 hours pass. Then he thinks, oh, I am still midway. And then he gets onto the golden chariot. You can't imagine. He left on the early morning sunrise of Dwadashi after performing the Ekadashi Vrat. And then he reaches Vrindavan at sunset. 12 hours going from Mathura to Vrindavan. And when he reaches Vrindavan, dear devotees, what happens? He does see the dancing of the peacock. He hears the cooing of the cuckoo. He sees the green parrot with the red beak. He sees the beautiful, wonderful trees with the golden vines embracing the trunk. He's seeing the royal white swans frolicking the pure waters of the Jamuna. He's seeing the caves of Govardhan. And guess what? As he continues to ride his chariot, he sees imprints of Krishna and Balaram's lotus feet. And he jumps off the chariot. This is reality. He jumps off the chariot seeing those lotus footprints. And as he's offering obeisances, he looks up. And to his great shock and surprise, there is Krishna and Balaram saying, Akrura Tata, please get up. What does this mean? What do you think is the lesson? Narottam Das Thakur has written in Prem Bhakti Chandrika. Sadhana karibo jaha siddha deha paibe taha. Whatever you do in your sadhana is what you will experience in your siddha avastha. What you do here is what you'll do there. If you're cooking for Krishna here with a lot of love, then this service will drag you to that service of offering Krishna meals with your own hands. You make nice garlands here for Radha and Krishna, and the purity and the intent and the complete dedication in this service will drag you to the kunja of Radha and Krishna, where you'll sleep in this material world and get up in the kunjas of groves of Radha and Krishna, and you'll be making garlands there. Sadhana karibe jaha siddha deha pabe taha. Our Narottam Das Thakur has written this. Sadhana karibo jaha siddha deha pabe taha. Raga marga ei to prakar. Raga marga ei to prakar. Srila Narottam Das Thakur in Prem Bhakti Chandrika, he says, the path of rag, attachment to Krishna, starts in this world. Don't think of getting perfect there. If you have your Sri Vigraha in this world, deities, worship them the same way as you would worship Radha Krishna in the spiritual world. Celebrate their festivals here. Decorate them nicely. This is the preparation. And what you prepare, you become perfect. That's what you achieve. So you can see Akrura. He was meditating. And then the perfection stage came where all of his meditation became reality. So therefore, dear devotees, the doctors can confirm this. When you have amnesia, when you have forgetfulness, the doctors advise, please recreate important events in the person's life. Like, for example, if the person has memory loss, then you can recreate the 25th wedding anniversary, for example. Bring everyone together, celebrate the 25th wedding anniversary. And it's possible by seeing all those people and the circumstance, his memory may come back, right? Similarly, you can recreate the graduation of your child. You can recreate, let's say, the 60th birthday or something like that. Something which is historic and which was celebrated very well. So by looking at all those recreation, it's possible the patient may remember and revive his lost memory. So what are we doing in this world? We are living in USA. What is it called? United States of Amnesia. These are 50 states coming together and we are all helping each other forget Krishna. So what is Prabhupada doing? Like the expert doctor, he's recreating events in this world. Like telling us, Come together and chant the holy name. Come together and make garlands. Come together and celebrate festivals. It is possible by this process. As you're making garlands, you may remember the divine couple. Just like a man, by recreation of events, may remember and revive his lost memory. Prabhupada teaches us, by serving in this world, it's possible we can revive our lost relationship with Krishna. Is everyone understanding? So by speaking about Krishna, by singing about Krishna, by making garlands for Krishna, by serving the deity and performing all our services diligently, just like how we would do in Goloka Vrindavan, the manorath, the train of thoughts that Akrura had became reality. So in no time, for us also, it will become reality. Everyone understands? Can we proceed? Akrura sees Krishna come and park all his cows and calves because it's evening time. Evening time, thousands and thousands of cows and calves, and they're all walking with bells on their throat. The bells are all walking. All the little calves. Have you seen the calves jump? It's very funny. Right? They jump. They don't know how to jump. I didn't even see the picture. Krishna saying, you speak, we will recreate. So Akrura saw this very beautiful image. Thousands and thousands. Actually, Krishna knows that I'm not so good at PowerPoint presentation and all that. So he says, you speak, we will keep a picture. So Akrura saw thousands and thousands of cows and calves, gopas, Krishna, Balaram. And then as Akrura offered obeisances, Krishna said, Akrura Tata, I have been waiting for you for so many years. What brings you here? So Akrura said just one word, Kamsa. And Krishna whispered in Akrura's ear, do you see the chakra in my palm? And Akrura is getting exhilarated because that's exactly his meditation. And Krishna tells Akrura, according to palmistry, this means I will become the king. Who can become the king? Only one who kills the present king can become the king. So Krishna is saying the present king is Kamsa. According to palmistry predictions, I will become the king, which means I will kill the king. Don't worry. And by then, Balaram is laughing and saying, oh, Tata, please come home. And Akrura goes with Krishna on one side and Balaram on the other and enters Nanda Bhavan, the house of Nanda Maharaj. As he enters Nanda Maharaj's house, they welcome Akrura. And Akrura goes and speaks to Krishna and Balaram, sits on the same couch, and Krishna and Balaram feed sweets in Akrura's mouth, exactly how Akrura had envisioned, the same way. Then they said, what brings you here? Akrura said, I am going to speak the truth to you, my Lord. I'm going to speak the truth. But as Akrura is speaking like this, now please be very attentive. Shukadev Goswami, at this point, he says, Krishna starts asking questions to Akrura. And what question is he asking? He's saying, how are my parents? How is our family in Mathura? How is the well-being of everyone? Then Krishna himself answers, oh, till the time that tyrant Kamsa is alive, everything will be topsy-turvy. So therefore, this Kamsa must be killed. So our acharyas are asking this question. Krishna knows Nanda and Yashoda are his parents. Then why is he asking Akrura, how are my parents? The answer given is, Ye yathamam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. When Krishna meets a devotee, he reciprocates to the mood of that devotee. And in Akrura's heart, he thinks Krishna appeared in Mathura. And Krishna's parents are Devaki and Vasudev. And Krishna's only living here for some time. He better come and save his parents. Akrura doesn't think Krishna is the son of Nanda and Yashoda. Akrura thinks Krishna is from Mathura. And he has just come to Vrindavan for some time. So now let me take him back to release his parents, Devaki and Vasudev. This is Akrura's mood. So talking to Akrura, Krishna is reciprocating. He's not saying Nanda and Yashoda are my parents. He's saying, how are my parents, Devaki and Vasudev? So when Krishna, as Ram, talks to Hanuman, he's completely in the mood of a master. But when he talks to Sugriva, he's in the mood of a friend. When he talks to Dasharath, he's in the mood of a servant. He depends on the son. The devotee he talks to, his mood becomes like that. So then Akrura said, actually, Kamsa is causing a lot of harm. So Krishna, you should come and kill Kamsa and release Devaki and Vasudev. Balaram starts laughing. He starts slamming his thighs and he's laughing. Akrura, what did you say? You said that Kamsa wants to kill Krishna? What a fool. Balaram is only 11 years old and he's slamming his thigh and he's saying, what a fool. He said, he sends so many demons and Krishna has 100% track record. He has killed all his men, all Kamsa's men. And still this foolish Kamsa thinks that now he's going to kill Krishna. He is not calling the object of his death. He is calling death personified. Balaram is laughing. Akrura, after speaking to Krishna and Balaram, he says, oh Krishna, will you come? Krishna said, definitely I will come. I'll come tomorrow. You tell my father and make an announcement. So Akrura speaks to Nanda Baba. Nanda Baba says, what is the occasion? Krishna tells Akrura, shh, don't tell him anything about killing Kamsa. Don't tell him anything about killing Kamsa. Just tell him about the bow sacrifice. I will somehow come and we'll do the needful. Akrura tells Nanda Baba, oh, there's a big bow festival ki, Mathura Dhanur Yajna ki, Shiva Chaturdashi Maha Mahotsav ki, Kamsa Maharaj's plan will fail tumbling down the stairs ki. Oh. So Akrura told Nanda Baba, there's a big bow sacrifice. Nanda Baba said, oh, very good. I anyway wanted my sons to have some field trip. They're just running around forests and jumping from trees, running behind cows. Only when they go to a city will they have experience. Nanda Maharaj said, definitely. It's a complete approval from my side. In fact, I will also come. Akrura is thinking, oh. Krishna said, we will take care. We will take care of it. Let Nanda Baba come. Nanda Baba said, let's make a big announcement. So he sent a messenger who went with a mridanga around all of Vrindavan. Play something on the mridanga. Like this. Good. So a messenger went around from village to village. A messenger went from village to village and he played on the mridanga and he said, everyone, please listen. There's a big announcement from the king of Vrindavan. Everyone was listening. And then he said, all of you yoke your carts, put all your stuff on it and be ready. Nanda Baba said, no, not everyone. The whole village will come. No. Only Krishna and Balaram will go with me. Not everyone, because otherwise the whole city will be vacant. So the messenger said, oh, but I already announced. How can my announcement go false? Nanda Baba said, okay, we'll make a compromise. We'll allow only the friends of Krishna and Balaram to come, all the boys. All the boys were throwing in balloons and festoons and cloth and fruits in the sky and saying, oh, we are going to a city for the first time in our life. Big festival. Big announcement is being made. Krishna and Balaram are going to Mathura. The boys are all thinking, we have never seen a city. Now they're talking to each other. We will go, we will see like a whole marketplace. We will see big palaces. We will see the king. We will see the army. We don't see any of that in the small little rural hamlet called Vrindavan. The motherly gopis are happy. They are thinking, oh, our boys will be happy. We will be happy. The mothers are thinking, if the child goes, they will have a nice experience. The mothers are happy. Why do you think the fathers are happy? The fathers are thinking, let's make a lot of yogurt and butter and ghee and milk sweets and we'll give it to Kamsa Maharaj. That will be our annual tax. And when we give that, Kamsa will be happy. When he is happy, he will not send any demons to Vrindavan. So we will go and bribe him. Everyone in Vrindavan is happy. Everyone is happy. With this announcement, everybody is happy. But there's one group who's not happy. Who do you think? The gopis are not happy. The motherly gopis are happy, but the younger gopis are not happy. You see, the same news or the same event can cause turmoil in different category of men. Like, for example, when it is sunset in Vrindavan, what do you think the Brahmanas are going to do? Chant their Gayatri? What do you think the cows and calves and cowherd boys are going to do? Return home? What do you think their mothers are going to do? Make some cooking sweets and welcome them? What do you think Krishna is going to do? He's very tired, so just crash. And what do you think the gopis are going to do? Hide and see Krishna come in? Because the the young gopis of Vrindavan, they're restricted on multiple fronts. They are restricted on multiple fronts. Society is not allowing. Family is not allowing. They have to hide and see Krishna. They have to go to the terrace. You can sit down. Enough walking. They can go to the terrace. And from the terrace, they hide and they see. They have veil, cloth, and they lift and they see. But still, there's a group of millions and millions of cows and calves and millions of cowherd boys. And there they have to see, where is the dark complexion Shama Sundar? It's very difficult. They find it difficult to meet Krishna even when he's in Vrindavan. Mother Yashoda can meet Krishna. Nanda Baba can meet Krishna. The boys can meet, play, run, and even eat with Krishna. The cows and calves can play with Krishna. But the gopis, who are the highest example of devotion, they can't even see Krishna. So when this news came about, that tomorrow Akrura is taking Krishna and Balaram out of Vrindavan, it was like a thunderbolt to the heart of the gopis. Let's pull up Canto 10, chapter 39, text 19. 10, 39, 19. We will chant a very beautiful verse. Very, very beautiful verse. In Srimad Bhagavatam, by the time the verse is pulled up, we will see what is happening in the heart of the gopis. 10, 39, 19. Srimad Bhagavatam. The gopis. Can everyone see the verse? You can just zoom this in. Just the English. No, just the English. Yeah. Can everyone see? Everyone except me. Aho vidhata stavana kvachiddaya samyojya maitrya pranayena dehinaha tamscha kritarthan viyunangsha parthakam vikriditam te bakacheshtitam yatha. Let us all chant together. Aho vidhata stavana kvachiddaya samyojya maitrya pranayena dehinaha tamscha kritarthan viyunangsha parthakam vikriditam ter bhakacheshtitam yatha. Everyone together this time. Aho vidhata. The gopis chanted this verse. They all got together. We can keep the verse as it is. The gopis got together And this news came like a thunderbolt to their heart. Everyone in Vrindavan can meet Krishna except the gopis. Now Krishna is leaving Vrindavan and no one is stopping. The gopis are talking to each other. Kamsa has become Yamaraj. What has Kamsa become? And Akrura has become Yamadut. What do you think the messengers of Yama, the Yamaduta, do to a person? They come and take life away. Is there a lot of pain for the body? Is there a lot of pain for the person? Is there a lot of pain for people around? Do the Yamadutas listen to anybody? They come, they do their work, and they leave. So the gopis are speaking. Kamsa has become Yamaraj, and he has sent a messenger called Akrura. And he has come with his noose called as the golden chariot. And he has come into the body called Vrindavan. And the relatives, the Brajbasis, are crying. But still he is putting his noose and grabbing the life air, Krishna, out of the body called Vrindavan. Vrindavan is having pain. Krishna is having pain. Brajbasis are having pain. But the Yamaduta called Akrura is coming, doing his duty and leaving. The gopis are talking to each other. Another gopi said, his name is Akrura. In Sanskrit, the word Krura means cruel. And Akrura means not cruel. The gopis are laughing and saying, oh, look, just to rub more salt on the wound. He who is the most cruel person, taking Krishna away from our lives. What is he doing? He's taking Krishna away from our life, and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says this is the greatest violence, to turn someone away from God. And his name is not cruel. Another gopi said, I think Akrura, another gopi said, I think Akrura may have heard the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because in the 8th canto, you see, there's the churning of the milk ocean. And what comes out? Poison. So the gopis are saying, Akrura has heard that pastime. Why? Because he's coming and churning the milk ocean of the hearts of the Brajbasis. And he's taking Krishna away. That is creating the poison out of this churning. Is everyone understanding? It's quite poetic. When you churn the milk ocean, the poison comes out. So Akrura is coming and churning the milk ocean of the hearts of the Brajbasis and creating the poison of separation from Krishna. And then the gopis are crying and saying, alas, 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 we don't have a Lord Shiva to drink this poison. Their Lord Shiva could drink that poison, but here we cannot call Lord Shiva to drink the poison of separation from Krishna. Another gopi said, but Krishna is responsible for this. Akrura is coming to take Krishna away. Why is he agreeing? I think he has become cruel too. He has become very cruel. So another gopi said, how can you say like that? Jaisa an vaisa man. You become according to what you eat. You are what you eat. And Krishna's been eating butter, soft butter all his life, which means his heart must be as soft as butter. Why do you call him hard-hearted? So the previous gopi said, yes, you're right. Actually, Krishna is very soft-hearted, but he's acting hard. Why? In the association of this cruel person, Akrura. Then another gopi said, this Akrura, actually, he's also a great Vaishnava. How come he became cruel? And he said, in association with Kamsa. By associating with the cruel-headed Kamsa, Akrura became cruel, and he became so cruel, he had abundant cruelty. And he went around distributing it in Vrindavan. And Krishna accepted his share, and he has also become cruel. Our acharyas have written like this. By then, Vrinda Devi came. Should we continue? Or should we just leave it as a cliffhanger like this? For next visit, next Portland visit. Then our situation will be like the gopis of Vrindavan. Don't take the Krishna of Krishna Katha away. Right? Vrinda Devi came. And she said, why is it that I hear very great sound from the ocean? Very, very poetic way of speaking. In Vrindavan, everyone speaks in poetry. Actually, typically in the works of Srila Rupa Goswami, you can see that when other Sakhis are speaking, they all speak in the local dialect. It is the local Brajbhasha dialect. But when Rupa Goswami writes the lines for Brinda Devi, it's always in Sanskrit. Because he says that all the Brajbasis, they are like humans, and Brinda Devi is like the demigoddess. So she always speaks only Sanskrit. So Brinda Devi came and said, where is the sound? What is this sound coming from the deep heart of the ocean? So Purnamasi, the age-old wise lady of Vrindavan, she said, hey Brinde, haven't you heard the great proclamation? Brinda said, I missed it. What is it about? Purnamasi said, oh, you didn't hear? Nanda Maharaj's messengers have come and announced a big proclamation that Krishna is leaving Vrindavan tomorrow and he will never come back. That was not the announcement, but Purnamasi added that. Because they know Krishna is so attractive. Once he goes, the Mathura Vasis will not give Krishna back to Vrindavan. Brinda Devi said, how can they do that? Brinda Devi started crying. Twadadnyaya pallava pushpa bringa, mrigadibir madhava keli kunja, madvadibir bhanti vibhushyamana, brinde namaste charanar vindam. Brinda Devi said, my service is to arrange the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Now if Krishna goes away, he will never meet Radharani. I will become bankrupt. There will be recession in my life. I am laid off my service. Radha and Krishna, to be together is my service, to arrange beautiful, wonderful flowers and wonderful deer and wonderful peacocks and birds singing at the right time, to make the right rangoli and to make the right swing festival, the right boat festival. Brinda Devi said, my duty is to serve. Now, if Akrura is taking Krishna away, Vrindavan will collapse without the backbone called Radha Krishna Lila. Purnamasi started crying. Brinda Devi said, you still haven't answered the question. What is the sound coming from the deepest part of the ocean? Purnamasi said, there is no ocean in Vrindavan. It is the oceanic heart of Srimati Radhika. Radharani's heart is the ocean. And the sound that you hear is her crying, coming from the deepest heart of the ocean of her love, coming out through her crying in the form of tears. Oh, Brinde, there is no ocean and there is no sound. That ocean is Radha's heart, and the sound is her crying in separation from Krishna. Everyone sat around Radharani. Still, are you listening? They sat around Radharani. And at that time, holding the hand of Brinda Devi and holding the hand of Purnamasi, Radharani said, what is happening in Vrindavan? The boys are all excited, thinking that I will go to the city. But they don't know. They will go to the city and they will come empty-handed because Krishna is not going to come back. They are destroying their own future. In Vrindavan, there is a saying, a gopa matures, a Brajbasi, matures at the age of 88. Which means a Brajbasi, a gopa will never have good intelligence. That's a saying in Vrindavan. If some boy or some girl, they make some mistakes in mathematics, the parents will say, oh, no wonder. The age-old saying that a gopa becomes intelligent only at the age of 88, I think they reserved it for you. Like that. So Radharani invoked that saying and she said, the age-old saying that the gopas mature and become intelligent only at 88 is proven today. That they are strangulating the neck of their own good fortune by going with Krishna to Mathura. What about their parents? Where did they lose their intelligence? Everyone is happy. Radharani said, what's wrong with Vrindavan? At that time, Brinda Devi on one side, Purnamasi on the other, and Yamuna, all three appeared to the scene. Radharani said, all three of you are also responsible. They were shocked. Yamuna, Brinda, and Purnamasi, the age-old wise lady of Vrindavan. Radharani said, do you all remember when we were all very young and small and we were toddlers, we were told that all of you will get married to different cowherd boys in Vrindavan. At that time, Radharani said, what did I do? Do you remember? Yamuna said, yes, I remember. You came and jumped into my waters, saying that if I ever marry, I will only marry Krishna. I will not marry anyone else. Radharani said, what happened at that time? Yamuna said, I didn't let you sink. I didn't let you drown. I came with 1,000 arms and I got you to the shore. And Brinda Devi came on one side, Purnamasi came on the other, and Yamuna, Brinda and Purnamasi, all three promised Radharani, don't worry, we promise you as the elder community of Vrindavan, we will never let you and Krishna get separated. Now when this day comes, Radharani said this very famous verse. This was chanted by Srimati Radharani. What does this mean? Aho Vidhata. Everyone say. Aho Vidhata means, oh Brahmaji, Tava na kvachit daya. You have no brains. I'm scared to say it. But if you're a follower of Srimati Radharani, you will say. Radharani said, after crying all night, next morning when the time came and Krishna has gotten up on the chariot of Akrura and he's about to leave, that's when this verse is chanted. Radharani chanted, Aho Vidhata, O Brahma, you have no mercy on us. Kamsa is heartless. Akrura shouldn't listen to him. But he's also heartless. He's coming. Nanda Baba should not listen, but he's also heartless. But Krishna should not listen. He's also heartless. Brajbasis, they should not agree, but everyone is heartless. But oh Brahma, Radharani is saying, you can bring in a natural calamity and stop Krishna leaving Vrindavan. Aho Vidhata. Oh Brahmaji, Tavana Kvachit Daya. You have shown no mercy on us. Samyojya Maitreya Pranayena Dehinaha. You have got us together. You got all the Brajbasis to Krishna only to separate us from him today. Then why did you even bring us together? What kind of sadistic devil and demon are you? Radharani is speaking. When you know we are going to get separated from Krishna, then why even bring Krishna in our life? Why should we even see his form, get attracted to his beautiful flute sound, get attracted to this fragrance of his form, eat the tambul chewed by Krishna, hold Krishna's hands and run in the forests of Braj? What will happen to Vrindavan without Krishna? Radharani is speaking. Brahma, when you know this day is going to come, you are the creator, aren't you? Then why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Apologizing to Radharani, Brahma made 4 heads into 4 hills in Barsana. In Barsana Dham, the 4 hills of Dangad, Mangad, Bhangad and Vilasgad are the 4 heads of Brahma. Because Radharani said, you have no brains. You have stone in your head and stone in your heart, no feelings and no intelligence. Therefore, Brahma said, oh Radharani, as apologies from my side, I will become 4 hills in Barsana so that you can always place your lotus foot dust on my head. Samyojya Maitreya Pranayena Dehinaha. Oh Brahma, oh creator, what kind of astrological creator, what kind of natural creator are you? Can't you bring in a coronavirus? Can't you bring in a hurricane? Can't you bring in a cyclone? You brought in the Govardhan Lila when it was not needed. Now when you have to stop Krishna from going to Mathura, you're keeping quiet. Samyojya Maitreya Pranayena Dehina. You're bringing us together and taking us away. Tamscha Akrita Arthan. And that too, the purpose of our lives is not met. Radharani said, the purpose of my life was to leave my home and live with Krishna in the forest forever. I tried bit by bit. I would hide and see Krishna. Sometimes when Krishna would play the flute, I would run in the middle of the night and be with him and come back. I was taking those steps. Eventually, I would have come to the point where I would have left everything and lived with Krishna in the forest. But before that happened, you cruel, heartless Brahma, you separated us from Krishna. And Radharani is giving an example. Vikriditam. Your play is like arbhaka cheshtitam. Is like the playing of a child. Have you seen? Sometimes children go to the shore of an ocean, and one child will make a very wonderful castle and spend so many hours making a castle. And another child will just stand next and kick with the feet and spoil the whole thing. And the original child who made it will start crying. Said, I spent 4 hours making this, and you're just coming and splashing everything with your feet. Who do you think is playing what role? Radharani is taking the role of the child who built the castle of with the sand of Prem, the castle of Brajalila. And Brahma is becoming that naughty child who's coming and kicking everything away by taking Krishna away from Radharani. Dear devotees, did everyone understand? As Radharani was crying like this, Krishna was on the chariot and he looked back. And when Krishna looked back, he had tears from his eyes. And he was thinking in his heart, oh Radhe, I wish I could just tell you, although I want to be in Vrindavan, there is need for me to go to Mathura and release Devaki and Vasudev and kill all the demons. And there'll be a war in the future. And I have to speak Bhagavad Gita and I'll become the king in Dwarka. There's so many responsibilities. Oh Radharani, I wish I could be here, but what to do? I have to go. But is everyone understanding? We are on the last 2 minutes of our class. As Krishna was leaving, the Braja Gopis headed by Srimati Radharani, they were crying loudly to Akrura, please don't take our Krishna. From tomorrow, whose flute sound will we hear? Who will barge into our homes and break the pots and eat all the butter? Every place in Vrindavan only reminds us of Krishna. Akrura didn't listen. Then the Braja Gopis headed by Radharani, they started falling at the feet of the horses. The horses being from Mathura, they acted like donkeys. They didn't listen either. Then the Gopis headed by Radharani, they were trying to fall in front of the cartwheel of the chariot of Akrura. But nothing worked. And the chariot went through and left Vrindavan to Mathura. And Krishna in his heart carried one verse, the last thing that he heard. What was that? Aho vidhata tavana kvachiddaya. Krishna went from Vrindavan to Mathura. And from Mathura, he went to Dwarka. And still he was remembering the last vision that he saw in Vrindavan of Radharani crying. Dear devotees, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Antarila, chapter 19, text 45. Antarila, chapter 19, text 45. You can see, dear devotees, we can pause for a minute. Pause for a minute. Just a minute, Prabhuji. Pause. Pause. Krishna was remembering continuously this one verse. And he thought to himself, I am in Vrindavan and I'm like a rain cloud. I was pouring nectar to everyone. But each one of them was like a Chataka Pakshi, only drinking the rainwater of my sweetness. Krishna thought to himself after Krishna Lila, I wish I can become a devotee. I wish I can become Radha. Krishna is thinking, I wish I can become Radha and come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he wanted to relish the same expression of separation that Radharani felt when Krishna was being taken away. Guess what? The cliffhanger from morning was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to be in the Gambhira, where Gadadhar Pandit was not present. And continuously Mahaprabhu would chant one verse. Chapter 19, text 45. Aho vidhatas tavana kvachiddaya samyojya maitrya pranayena dehinaha tamschakritarthan viyunangsya parthakam Vicheshtitam te bakacheshtitam yatha. Just like Radharani cried while Krishna was taken away from Vrindavan to Mathura by Akrura. Now Krishna became Srimati Radharani as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the Gambhira, all day and night, holding the hands of Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai, who are Lalita and Vishaka, in the same mood as Radha, Krishna, who left Vrindavan to go to Mathura and Dwarka, came as Mahaprabhu and still remembered that verse that Radharani sang. So when he became Mahaprabhu, the only verse he chanted in the Gambhira was the same verse that he heard from Srimati Radharani herself. Did you see the Gaur Katha today? Till the last 1 minute you were thinking, is it Krishna Lila or Gaura Lila? But Mahaprabhu would chant this verse. So if you read Chaitanya Charitamrita and you come to this point, we can see the connection that why he would chant this verse. But because this is the verse that Krishna heard from Radharani when he was leaving, he did Shravanam in Krishna Lila and did Kirtanam in Gaura Lila. Gaur Premanande, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Thank you, devotees, for flying with us in the Harikatha Airlines. In the flight from PDX to Vrindavan, we visited Mathura and now briefly. We would like to thank our captain, His Grace Amarendra Prabhu. Unfortunately, we had to land back in Portland, but yeah, thank you so much. It was such an amazing, blissful experience for all of us. And yeah, we hope to have your association again. And thank you so much from my bottom of my heart.
Whatever benefit we amass by the hearing and chanting today, we want to wholeheartedly offer it to the 1-year-old Anirudh for his spiritual upliftment.
Can I have a 1 minute?
Depending on what it is. If it's on the description of the woman, then no.
Adaram maduram vadanam maduram nayanam
I don't even know if I will survive 75. What to speak of being alive at 75 and coming for a Hari Katha program and with so much devotion singing Shripad Vallabhacharya's Madhurashtakam. Everyone, big round of applause. So now we will have 2 minutes of kirtan or this cake cutting. Cake cutting ceremony? We should have cake cutting soon. We'll do kirtan later.